always felt like the pleasure was in the fantasising about the thing, not the actual doing. Who said anything about doing? I might fantasise about looking sharp, but who wants to deal with all that ironing? Not me. The orgies of ancient Rome. Fun, sure, but think of all the mess. Look, TV was invented for passive adventurers. Tenzing Norgay didn't own Ugg boots and a widescreen TV. He owned hiking boots and an ice axe, so I could watch him climb Mount Everest on my widescreen TV in my Ugg boots. So when I said, let's watch grand designs and escape to the country, that didn't mean I had grand designs to uproot our city lives and actually escape to the country. No, it meant let's sit on our asses and watch other people do it. You want a copy?
Yeah. I'm not very good at sitting still or lying down for very long. I do it while I sleep, obviously, but that's out of necessity rather than desire or compulsion. That includes television. I could live without it. I mean, why would you watch people cooking when you can cook an amazing meal yourself? Why would you watch people playing sport or gardening or having sex when you could actually be doing it? Maybe. He used to play this song and there was this line in it. It goes, "Where's the crime in wasting time with you?" It's quite a sweet song actually, but I could never quite get on board with the sentiment. I mean, anything that's wasted is bad, right? Not used to its full potential. And I don't think we should be wasting anything. Definitely not our time, it's short. And there's a lot to be done. Could you pass me the Phillips head, please? No, the Phillips head. The Phillips head.
Look, I don't know who Philip is, but he should have bought this shithole.
Oh, it's a beautiful house with lots of bedrooms.
It's a shack. That's what it is. It's a shack.
On 5 acres of beautiful land.
Clad entirely in asbestos.
The builder who did the inspection said it had great bones.
He said it's going to be a lot of work, and he was right. There isn't a scrap of carpet anywhere, just bare floor, wood, just whatever it's called, yellowtail.
That's a wine. We've got kangaroos, echidnas, and so many birds. Native bush, a winter creek.
And the ad for the house said, and I quote, "This project would suit a builder or renovator or tradie." They didn't even call it a house. They called it a project. And notice it didn't say perfect for a pair of rifles.
But I saw its potential. I saw our potential. And did you tell them about the pepper pies?
Okay, the pepper pies are pretty good.
And the sourdough subscription.
Right, we get sourdough delivered.
This place is a foodie's mecca. We traded in the Vietnamese fishmongers of Marrickville for a central Victorian hipster heaven. I mean, the tagline for this region is naturally cool.
We fit right in.
Obviously.
You can even get vegan donuts at the farmer's market every Saturday morning.
Not that you make it to the markets often.
Yeah, because I'm not a vegan. On Saturday morning, I like to sleep in.
I've noticed.
For 5 days straight, getting the kids to school on time feels like a combination of Groundhog Day and the invasion of Normandy. Go, come on, what are you doing? You're going to be late.
He says that as though his life is somehow separate to mine, as if I'm not right next to him yelling.
Where are the bags?
I've already got the bags. Come on, we're going to be late. You have your shoes on.
Should have put them on ages ago. Dad.
Oh, please don't forget to call the electrician today.
They never return my calls.
So yeah, by Friday night, I've got a bit of good old-fashioned shell shock, so I self-medicate the good old-fashioned way with an old-fashioned. I set my Saturday alarm clock for Sunday and I go to sleep with my fingers crossed that I won't get woken up by power tools.
I tend to do my best work in my pyjamas. It's always been this way, actually. I think I realised it when I was young, making my parents' breakfast in bed. There was a better flow if I stayed in my PJs. You could taste it, I'm sure. It's like having a shower and getting dressed washes away all the magic of your dreams. So now if I can, I write in my pyjamas, garden in my pyjamas, rip down walls in my pyjamas. Don't overthink it, you know. Get in there before the sunrise.
Before coffee.
Before the weight of the day slows you down.
Before you're making rational decisions.
By the time it's 8 a.m, you've achieved something with your life. Done something.
She says that as if her life is separate from mine, as if I can't hear the power drill ripping through the fake wood walls outside the bedroom where I'm trying to sleep.
He likes it, actually. I mean, he says he doesn't, but he actually likes it. When it comes down to it, he's the tortoise. I'm the hare.
The tortoise wins. I'm happy with that metaphor.
Yeah, it wins, but I mean, I'll prepare the race course, paint the lines, advertise in the local paper, get the council permit, find the sponsors, organise the volunteers to run the sausage sizzle, make ribbons for the winners. And then, only then will I run the race. There wouldn't even be a race if it wasn't for me.
Okay, look, a renovation was her dream, not mine, but I'm on board now. I never considered myself a handyman, but now I own 2 drills, a hammer drill, what even is that? 2 ladders, a staple gun, a liquid nail gun, a spack filler gun. I own guns. A laser stud finder. I've got lasers. I've got a nose hair trimmer, a hedge trimmer, a chainsaw and a ride-on lawnmower. But this isn't just about me boasting about my manly possessions. No, the point is I know how to use these things now. If the tap doesn't produce any water, I crawl under the house with my phone and watch YouTube videos about how to fix the water pump. Shakespeare did that. Hemingway did that. It turns out writing on its own is quite emasculating, but combine it with handyman work and you feel like MacGyver.
It's true. He's learned a thing or two. So have I. On a good day, I've been renovating since sunrise, so by 11 a.m. I'm knackered. My pyjamas are covered in sawdust. No doubt I've incurred some kind of wound to my hand or fingers from some kind of tool that I don't have time to YouTube how to use. The hare is ready for a little nap. And there he is, the tortoise, ready with a coffee and a plate of breakfast. And so I pass on the baton and he takes off where I left it. Slowly and surely, he spack-fills the holes that I've accidentally made or paints over spots I've missed in my hurry. There's something about this place. The trees, towering giants here before European invasion. The ibis that circle the dusk skies. Terrified of fire in the summertime, but looking forward to lighting them in the wintertime. Planting things in autumn that finally get to show off in spring. Watching our kids pick flowers as they get followed around by chooks. This isn't time wasted. This is time to pause. But only for a minute, because then our son turns on his bedroom light, blows a fuse, and the house is thrown into darkness.
I look down at the old lighthouses, keepsakes from a giant's palm and namesakes to my Barbican, my tower in the sun. I dwarf their relic elegance. The elder one, a corrugated souvenir, wrinkled iron phallus, helmet painted scarlet red, tumescent glands of light. Its brutalist young bigger brother rocks concrete render, inspo for my cock, in fact. We stand dumb, big dicks in the sun. Magpie watches unimpressed. He glances west, the wreck of town, high-rise shithouse development. Old bungalows sit in the shade, but those majestic glass house mountains can't shade them. Alimba, Tibragargan, Coonaran, or old Crookneck, volcanic cores, they've seen it all before. Dormant, they guard our town, Caloundra. Ancient words in Kabi tongue on Gubby Gubby land. Magpie turns away. Glance east, Pacific glints like tourmaline. Look down at Lilliputians on the ground, fists full of coffee takeaways, a human right, their symbol of a former life. but too righteous to share the path, to do the 1 5-meter thing. Fuck them. She turns it on, our paradise, the sky a block of powder blue deception. Pure azure. Persuasive bitch, she doesn't care. And in this minute, this still, windless minute, neither do I. Brave beach hat on, I venture out, my homemade wipes all metho-dipped in Ziploc bag. I'm building brain plasticity, new pathways of how to be. Front gate, recalibrate, glance east, there's no one near, glance west, I'm in the clear, fuck you germs, front gate done, look out beach, here I come. I'm dodging traffic down the hill, no single file in paradise, unless you're a turtle, of course. Soon see Pacific blue, yahoo, my heart, then fuck's sake, the coastal path is chock-a-block, knuckles white with metho wipe, wait for a break in steady stream of lathering humanity, stopping to chat, no room to pass, their hands on rails, their hands to mouths with coffee cups. Detect a theme amid the steam, the writhing snake of creeping joggers, kids on scooters, even newborns jiggling in the latest show-off prams, grip baby chinos, going mad. Must cross the path to get to sand. I wait for a break in the herd, a lull, and off I go. Ah, fuck. The mullet truck parked on the beach. Just once a year, the mullet run. A special breed to net them in, a crusty crew of carny folk dressed up as fishermen. All mute they sit, their ciggies dangling from her petic lips. Bored they wait. No fish, no conversation. Mullet by name. I watch one crawl into an old pandanus tree. Fucking clown jumps up and down the crack of boughs neath that. Wait, bored, belligerent prick, what are you doing? I've said it aloud. The fat waits. No sound from naughty mullet man. Plays statues in the barbed wire fronds. He waits for me to pass, then gutless he emerges. Whiskered, dumb, continues his nothing. Paradise is silent. Pandanus tears make no sound. I move on to a distant corner. Check the sand for footprints near my favorite spot. Still wet, no visitors yet. Sacrifice my towel. A virgin place to damp my arse and sun my face. Look at the sea. Pacific like a velvet rug. I jump in for a solo swim, too cold for coffee army. Watch them as they tramp the path with almost Soviet elan, shoulder to shoulder, exercising human right, the right to exercise. Great day for it, floats on the wind. Couple on a photo shoot, photographer, his boots all wet, war correspondent for a day. Then money shot, balloon release to tell the world that love can conquer all. Balloons, metallic, plastic, golden wedding bands with matching strangled turtle choking string. Wave smashes in my ear. Romance is dead. Watch them sail northeast for Turtle Beach. I turn away into the endless blue. No flat white in sight. Illusion. Face east. Ignore the beast. What's that I see? The glint of white, sun in my eyes, reflected light. A fin. Check for the shape. It's curved. I breathe into a wave. She barrel rolls. Can see her scars. She's that close. So close. 20 meters at the most. Her fin tip white. It catches light. Dolphin fishing, a private show, just me and her, don't get too close. Heart pounds a gut, feeling, glance west, mullet men, slaughter ready, eagle eyes, nets, trucks, boats, all poised, glance east. The mermaid's underbelly rolls again. Her weary eye is watching me. My mirror in the sea, she's watching me. Swim, I say, swim for your life. The world stops for a moment. House of tears I'll see. Resist the urge to swim away with her. Glance west, trucks rolling, launching, boats. Glance east, no fin, just caps of white, she's gone. Glance west, it's on. The mullet run, they're running now. Around me, mullet fish slice up the sea. They're running too, those grizzled men, slothful fuckers sprung to life. The coffee army, goose-stepped a rubberneck. It's mullet watching mullet, shoulder to shoulder. Virus of dumb, where's Poseidon when you need him? Hundreds now are on the beach or being part of something. Execution, bubble bursting massacre, windows closing. Abandoned mullet friends who choke on air, their silver bodies slapping sand. If only they had little legs and Stanley knives to cut the nets. Farewell. Surrender now to paradise. Soft breeze, sun dancing, wave gleaming, icing on the cake. Sets roll in perfect hills. The surfies always say just wait. The second wave is always bigger. Watch the truth as it rolls in. Windows closing, buckets, spades, here they come. Children playing in the sun. Another wave. Farewell. I walk home by the headland trail. Glance west to icy wind on Crook Neck. Glance east, the muscles press with COVID stress on agitated bone. Watch ships go by, endless supply of stuff. A pilot captain guides them through the shallow bit, a pretty pond dressed up as sea. A tricky bitch, this paradise. No captain for the HMS Pandemic. Rudderless, just stuff on ships to sell and spill into the sea. Masks and gloves wash up for days. Think of our Turtle Beach where leatherbacks march single file, Laloon their guide to life at sea, society of secret turtle friends who flank their moonbeam path. I'm wanking now, my cranky mind, shut up, look at the view. Her sunny smile, sunny sundial is perfect Maison evidence. Increase the pace as Lighthouse Hill comes into view. Her endless stairs my exercise. As I draw close, I see him there, another man upon the stair. I calculate collision rate for COVID hate, but no, he doubles back, can't reach the top, a faux athlete. Okay, I'll go around him, do the 1.5 meter thing. But just as we draw parallel, he coughs at me, my private hell. There's not an elbow to be had, then coup de grace, a giant slag to spray G'day. The fetid dew soft on my arm, his earphones in, can't even yell. I cross the road in COVID hell. This second wave will hit us hard, us hoisted on our own petard. Fuck me. Front gate. Recalibrate. Find little bag of metho wipes. Magpie silent, watching me, my Ziploc metho tragedy. Easy for some. I look down from my tower in the sun. Those blind old girls kissed golden dying light. Handful of gin with olives in. Glance west, sunset, blood, cloud. Holding pattern in my heart. Perfect fading actress light. Relique of a former life. Glance east, the split-screen sky a different hue, still powder blue, mistress of the vision switch, a tricky bitch, paradise. She doesn't care. And in this minute, this still, windless minute, neither do I.
We love our Palmerston, our top end of the Northern Territory, surrounded by a glorious coastline that stretches for miles. Mighty freshwater rivers like the Tahli River, which is where I'm from. To places not too far down the track to go camping, swim in waterholes or fish for barramundi. A bit further to go hunting for turtle, magpie geese, bullocky or buffalo. Generations of families, a beautiful blended cultural mix of Italian, Greek, Chinese, non-Indigenous, Torres Strait Islander and Aboriginal. Even when the wet season build-up stifles us with 90% humidity and you feel like you can hardly breathe, and by midday you've had 3 showers already. On travels down south we get asked, how hot is it? One good reply is, when you turn the cold tap on, hot water comes out. But to really properly, truly understand a top-end build-up, you need to feel it, experience it. Your eyes stinging with sweat, sweat dripping down your spine, your armpits, your entire body. Mango madness starts to creep in. The silly season, as we like to call it, has been hammering us for a month now. We start dreaming of snow, a trip down south, we're just wanting to move to some other part of the planet. We cuss and curse. The kids start whinging and whining that they can't go for a swim because of lockdown. You're hot? You're hot? What about your mother? I've got stinking hot flushes from menopause on top of this heat. You know a kettle? You know a kettle when it's boiling? Well, that's what your mother feels like inside and you're complaining? They roll their eyes and mutter to themselves. Oh my God, here we go again. They disappear into some part of the house, away from the award-winning performance, all well too known from their mother. The house goes quiet. Outside is not different. Not a single solitary palm tree or a leaf is moving. Then out of the blue, a dark cloud is seen from afar. The sound of thunder in the distance. Then an almighty crack of lightning frightens the living daylights out of you. You duck for cover. The day turns to darkness as the sun and clear blue sky is blocked by massive dark rain clouds approaching. The wind starts to blow and whistle through the trees. You can smell the rain before it arrives. The bitumen road starts to seam as the soft sound of rain starts to fall. We all run outside screaming and yelling, it's raining, it's raining. Our arms outstretched towards the heavens, dancing, running and jumping around the yard like lunatics. The thunder and lightning comes closer. The rain starts pouring down, the sound is deafening. The temperature drops by 10 degrees. All is forgiven. Thoughts of snow and moving to another place, a distant memory as we fall in love all over again with our beautiful Palmerston, our beautiful top end of Australia. COVID-19 hits our shores. We go into 6 weeks of lockdown. Days turn into nights. At the forefront of every waking hour is coronavirus. There is no reprieve. News footage blaring from televisions and radios. Sounds and sights of chaos, panic, fear and death. Do not enter. Do not leave. A secondary lockdown is put in place for our remote Indigenous communities in the Northern Territory. If coronavirus entered our remote communities, it would decimate entire families, young and old, because of the poor and in a lot of cases third world living conditions. 3-bedroom homes overcrowded with 20 people, confined, scared, worried for family, living in the city hundreds of kilometres away. Isolating in our homes in Palmerston, we feel a little bit safer, but frightened for our fellow human beings in other places of Australia, the world. We can only watch and see the ravage, the grief being unleashed by this foreign beast. As the days and nights collide into one another, all sense of time become lost into an abyss of uncertainty and the unknown. A group of teenage boys and girls huddle together into a teenage boy's room. They feel safe and secure in the confines of his room, his home, his backyard. I cannot believe this is happening. I know. Russ, this is huge. What are we going to do? Let's go get some beers, some vodka shots, put some music on. A little 11-year-old girl sits alone in her room. No school, no friends allowed over, no cinema, no swimming at the local pool or waterhole, or playing in the park or girls' nights at the YMCA. Mummy, I feel frightened. I miss my friends. Will we get sick? When can I start playing basketball again? When can I see my friends, Mummy? I miss my friends. It's going to be okay, my baby girl. It's going to be okay. A sombre cloud starts to lift as laughter and music from teenagers become louder, as beers and shots are being downed, offering some respite from the reality of the COVID-19 lockdown. The happiness, though, begins to fade as their usual routine has been rudely interrupted, because by now they would be doled up and dressed to the nines, ready to hit the town. They were all experiencing a long-awaited independence with their coming of age, socialising at people's places and nightclubs. Then, with no warning, their independence, way of being, abruptly came to a halt. Once again, the poor buggers found themselves isolated at home with their beloved parents or carer. Devastation. The echoing of, I just got away from the confines of chores and endless rules. I was finally free. Now COVID-19 had to come and fuck it all up. The sun sets with fiery splashes of orange, yellow, pink and red amidst the dark blue sky. A deep breath of excitement and anticipation. The cool, dry season wind sends a chill over Palmerston. Lockdown is over. Teenagers pile into cars and are off down the track to Gunpoint to camp for the night, arriving just before sundown to gather wood for a fire next to the beach. The ocean is sweeping slowly in, the small frothy waves flowing over the sandy earth. The hermit crabs ducking for cover, with only the sandy, watery bubbles, a remnant of their being there. Waking with the sunrise, tired from a late night of laughing and yarning around the fire. The feeling of freedom once again theirs. A dip in the beautiful icy cold water at Robin Falls on the way home to Palmerston. The beautiful 11-year-old girl finally had 3 friends sleep over, first time in 6 weeks. Don't worry about anything. Just chuck your bathers on, get a towel and a cold bottle of water, and let's hit the Frog and Toad. They excitedly race out to the car, bumping into one another, their screams and high-pitched chatter indecipherable as their words of joy and happiness collide into one another's. We are going swimming to Lake Leanya. My cousin sister rocks up from Daly River for a visit, bringing with her a long-necked turtle. Yum, a long-awaited taste of turtle. A beautiful surprise for my 51st birthday. Kyneton, go get a sharp knife. What for, Mum Wonjid? To kill him but this turtle. What? No, Mum Wonjid, you can't kill that turtle. Burrowford, make sure that fire's a big one so we've got plenty of hot coals for this Mallargur. My daughter Kyneton had been looking after this turtle in the laundry sink for 2 days, feeding it lettuce. Didn't have the heart to tell her turtles only eat meat. At the same time was thinking to myself, I wouldn't worry about feeding it, baby girl, because we're going to be eating that turtle directly. She'd been having daydreams of Mum out in the hot burning 34-degree sun, sweating it out, my back breaking, digging a big hole in the backyard to make a pond for her new pet. You reckon? That turtle's getting eaten today. The knife finally arrives and is hesitantly given to my sister. Everyone gathers around to watch the turtle being prepared. We didn't grow up out bush, so it's something new for my daughter. The turtle is put to rest. The innards taken out, bush leaves stuffed into the side. The fire has died down till there is only hot, burning orange, blue and red embers. The colours of our sunset, beautiful and mesmerising. The turtle is put onto the fire. It slowly simmers. The delicious fat dripping down onto the coals with the smell that only a long-necked turtle being cooked brings, making our mouths water. The innards are placed onto the fire and cooked to a crispy charcoal perfection. They're like 3 metres long. A stick is used to grab them out to cool it down on a piece of cardboard. The kids grab it and hold it like you would a long snake, all in a big long line, grinning from ear to ear. Burrowford! Salt, my boy! We need salt! This mullet gourd ready to eat you, mob! We all pull off a piece of turtle. The moon is full, the stars are twinkling. The fire rebuilt to its former glory. The fiery flames flickering and glowing on our faces. It is serenely quiet, with only the sound of the fire crackling, greasy fingers being licked, as we devour our precious piece of turtle. Being together as a family prior to lockdown was unheard of. Little sister desperately wanting to spend time with her big brother. Tears and begging to share a moment ignored. Mum constantly nagging. Try spending 5 seconds of your life with your sister. A conversation with a real human being instead of being on your phone every second minute. Mum and little sister were quietly and mischievously happy that big brother couldn't go anywhere. Talking about this now makes me emotional. We both finally got to see him, eat a meal together, have a yarn, get to know his friends, sit around the fire and talk about how everyone was feeling. Because as you know, trying to have a conversation, a meaningful or lengthy conversation with a teenager is like trying to get blood out of a stone. Surprisingly, since lockdown ended, there has been a shift. Mum still nags, brother and sister still argue. But a hug from my son has become a little bit tighter. A quick peck on the cheek before leaving. And dare I say it, I mumbled, "I love you," as Hurdy is off out the door, ready to explore our beautiful top end in the Northern Territory of Australia.
The door shuts, and I'm left in a small waiting room, the white walls bright under the fluorescent light. I turn, doors open, and I walk outside into a crisp autumn sunshine. There's no one around, just a sprawl of big red brick buildings, signs, parked cars. The hospital is built onto the side of a hill. Everything is a bit lumpy and sideways. I stand with my back to the entrance, all of my skin having its own thoughts. I need to do something, but what? The hospital is looked over by Kunanyi, the mountain. It's big. It's well over 1 kilometre into the sky, and the city is nestled here underneath it. My eyes trace the line of the surrounding hills. I could drive up the mountain, but probably not right now. I need to be useful. I get in my car. I go to my brother's house, get his medications, some clothes, a book, knickers, socks. I put them in a bag. I take the bag back to the hospital, give it to a nurse. She says, "Thank you, I'll take them through." And I ask, "So no one is allowed to come in? I can't just come sit with him?" "No," she says, "there are no visitors. It's the new regulations." She assures me she'll call as soon as she knows anything. The nurse leaves, through the big white, mysterious door. I'm not even allowed to wait in the waiting room. Okay, yep. I walk back out the glass doors. I could just sit in my car, wait in the car park, until I hear something. Yeah, I'll do that. But if I did that, I think I'd start crawling round the inside of my car, and no one wants to see that. I've read in a book that anxious people are important because in the animal kingdom, the anxious animals are agents of survival. By climbing up trees, looking out for their clan, alerting them to threats, and therefore protect everyone, right? I am the anxious animal up the tree, at the top of the hill, looking out. I'm a protector. Anxiety is great. Shit. I'm giving the hospital half an hour, and if they don't call me, I'm calling them. I get in my car and drive. I'll get a coffee. Support a cafe that's doing takeaway. Go sit near the water. Oh, that's a good idea. Do you ever imagine when you're driving in a car that you're just in a really big roller skate? Just gliding around the roads in a giant boot on 4 wheels? And the roads are just a really big skating rink. I loved roller skating when I was a kid. I was terrified to begin with. The thought of falling over and breaking my face on the footpath didn't sit well with me, but then I found the power in my wheels. My brother taught me how to roller skate. He's 10 years older than me. He spent time with his skinny runt sister when he didn't have to. He also taught me how to drive. My brother's having chemotherapy. There was a diagnosis that was a shock to us all just before the pandemic hit. I remember everyone at the hospital talking about some virus that might infect the world, but of course it wouldn't reach Tasmania. Wouldn't get to Hobart. We're just a funny little city at the edge of an island, at the edge of a bigger island at the end of the world. But it did reach us. Our roads are so empty. It's just me and my big roller skate. The bay is a 5-minute drive from the hospital. I get a coffee from the waterside cafe. I park my car near the water. The river here is expansive, kilometres wide and so calm. There are birds, ducks, cockatoos, a few black swans, seagulls, magpies. I wind down the window of my car. I can hear little slaps of the water. Sitting here, looking out, a few small boats bobbing, the big concrete smile of the Tasman Bridge, making the eastern and western shores of the city hold hands, the little row of brightly coloured boat sheds, all this beauty. You'd never know anything was wrong. I take a sip of my coffee. I shut my eyes and let pictures play on the back of my eyelids. Me and my brother, a bit drunk, on the ferry on our way to the local eccentric millionaire's weird-ass art gallery in the northern suburbs, waving to dolphins jumping in the spray of the white spray of the river. I open my eyes, get out of the car and stand by the water, hoping to see dolphins. I see a rust-coloured starfish, and then my mind flips back to the blood on the front lawn. My brother called me today to say he's cut his hand and he might need to go to the doctor's. Well, drive yourself to the doctor's then. Nah, can you give me a lift? What have you cut yourself with? A chainsaw? The adrenaline kicks in and I run to the car and I drive as fast as I can to pick him up. What were you doing with a chainsaw? Some gardening, he says. While you're having bloody chemotherapy? He's managed to drop it on his hand and he's sliced up some of his fingers. I find him sitting there with a towel wrapped around his hand, but he hasn't quite stopped the bleeding and there's blood on his jeans. You're a dickhead, mate. I know, he says. I gently bundle him into the car, drive him to emergency. He's pale and sweaty, but still trying to crack jokes. How can I help? Says the nurse behind the glass. I've had a disagreement with a chainsaw, he says. Oh, and she promptly takes him through a big white door. The sky is becoming a dusky pink and blue, which has coloured the river a dusky pink and blue. It's the colour of fairy floss. The autumn sunsets can take your breath away. Sometimes this place scares me. The colonial past, our convicts, the sandstone convict-built buildings, ghosts that come right out of the ground, right out of the water and look me in the face. How to navigate history so thick, so real, so big, so... When I was at school in the 1980s, whole chunks of the history of this place were shadowed. The living Aboriginal culture, nations and people, all here, whose land I grew up in. There are so many Hobarts. Nipaluna. Sometimes they can't see each other. It's starting to get cold with the wind coming off the water. How long have I been standing here for? It's getting dark. Shit. I call the hospital. Hi, I'm just calling to see how my brother is. He's got a cut on his hand and... Yes? Well, how is he? Well, he's not doing great. We've had to get his temperature down. He has a fever. He has a fever? Is that from the cut? No, it's too quick for that. Then why does he have a temperature? Is it from the chemotherapy? We're trying to find that out. Well, can I talk to him? I'm afraid not. Why is that? He's had to be tested for the virus because he's got a temperature. He's in isolation. Only staff in full PPE can take the phone in there, and I'm not in full PPE. I'm sorry. We'll call you as soon as we know anything. Well, can I call him on his mobile? Of course. But just to let you know, there's not much reception down here. Thank you. The nurse hangs up. I call my brother's mobile 3 times. It goes straight to message bank. I get back in my car and drive. I'm going to dress up like a nurse. I'm going to get some scrubs and just go through the doors. I'm going to get myself some high vis. Apparently, if you're in high vis, you can get in anywhere. I imagine myself standing outside the hospital and I have an enormous comic book fist, and I get my fist and I punch those glass doors in and smash them to bits. Bam! And the shards of glass fly up into the sky. Then I walk into that waiting room and I rip the big white door off its hinges with my really big hand and throw it on the ground. Bam! Then I stomp down the hallway and I boom, "I want to see my brother!" I want to know what's happening. And I want to care for him, just like he's cared for me. Stupid dumb dickhead had to go and get cancer. Stupid idiot had to use a chainsaw. He taught me how to roller skate, to drive. He's lent me money. He's talked to me on the phone at 5 a.m. because I can't sleep. He keeps my head above water. Just to let you know, I didn't smash the hospital door in. I'm in the car park at the hospital on the top of the hill. I'm the animal at the top of the tree, looking out. Is there danger? What's coming? Okay. Okay, you can come down from the top of the tree. Come down. You can have a rest. The reasons why I'm not allowed into the hospital flow through my mind. It's to bloody protect people. Them in there. Me. It's to protect the whole community. We don't know what we're dealing with yet. Everyone's doing their best. The trees, the water, Kunanyi looks into my car. I wonder what they see. I fall asleep in the car park of the hospital on the hill. I wake to the sound of my phone ringing. It's my brother. It's midnight. Hello. Oh my God, how are you? I'm all right. Bit sore. They're pumping me full of antibiotics. I've got some kind of infection. They think it might have been brewing for a few days. My virus test came back negative, so that's good. They don't have to wear their party clothes around me anymore. How is your hand? Fine. Just 10 stitches. You are so bloody lucky. Yeah, I know, don't stress. Have you had any sleep? You sound wired. I called because one of the nurses said you've been trying to call me. I'm sorry to wake you up. Nah, it's all good. It's nice to hear your voice.